Well, hey, you have found my surprise short video talking about my favorite scene that changed my mind. As well, I can change your mind on giving the show a watch. Or not, as Transformers Energon / Superlink is a very bloated, and the part where it starts is the endgame of the show. So if you could make it up to this point, you are rewarded for seeing it through the show. These set of scenes is the reason why I stayed. That, of course, is the death and resting place of Alpha Q. Also, we're just talking about the Japanese version of the show, but if there's a staggering difference, I will mention it. Also, this is in a perspective who has no childhood with the show, and analyzing the best version of the scene, and made my mind go, yes, this show is so good. Before we talk about Alpha Q's death, I want to talk about how we get here. Alpha Q, or Alpha Quintesson, haven't strayed away from its normal G1 design. Yet the show writers gave them a backstory of how they got there. During the 10-year gap, Q resides in the head of Unicron. After their planet was destroyed, or better yet, they destroyed their own planet to defeat him, they survived and vowed themselves to recreate the planet's loss to the Chaos Bringer, using the leftover supply of Energon as best as they could. They made the Terracons and Sorbonaut and other things to supply Energon to create more planets. Due to their childish nature to build and create, the revival and now reborn as Galvatron really made their supply of Energon to make a sun to heat up and bring life, and it suffered because of that event. They used the last bit of Energon to reanimate Starscream, now Nightscream, to defeat Galvatron as he slowly brings back Unicron together. After some convincing, Rodimus Convoy vouched for further behavior. Misha and Kicker mentally bond with Q, thus creating an alliance to restore the planets and the sun Unicron destroyed long ago. Q knows their fate a long time ago, and the risk that comes with restoring the world, which makes their death more heartbreaking. They were afraid of death, and they want to run away when their planet is destroyed. Kicker calls them out on their loneliness, is a sign of Q losing hope, and is a coward for not standing up for themselves. Q cannot put faith in their dream to happen right now, and rather wait around endlessly, never giving it a try in the first place. Q prefers to stay in the shell, which is fine, but not seeing the things Q loved is stolen away from them. Kicker shows Q they were able to take that back and have the courage to ask Kicker and the other Autobots to help save their world. So Alpha Q takes that risk and wants to fight Galvatron and those taken away from them. As little as no faith at all, Q wants to at least try and follow what Kicker said to them. These set of episodes is the moment Kicker and Misha sent to a grassy planet. Of course, the two mentally linked with Q and knows a grassy planet was made for Kicker and Misha. A place to relax. A place of good memories between them, and they shared it with Q. This is the world Q wants everyone to live in. A world rid of all evil. When Galvatron is reclaiming the last bit of Unicron's body, Q knows they are in danger and will cease from this world. Q uses their last bit of their Energon orb to create the sun, and now the head of Unicron where it should be. The last moments of Q mentally talking to Kicker and Misha in their child voice, and is grateful for appreciating their creations, and the reason they made this planet. It is a gift to them. Q knows their fate a long time ago and refused to run away. We know Kicker and Misha's reaction isn't so great, but Kicker refused, he is gone, and risked going into Unicron's head to show what remains of Q, and it isn't so good. Q is dead, and what is left is a broken promise. Kicker needs to defeat Unicron and restore the life to them, and fulfill his promise. It is what Q wants. It just looks so sad to see this, and Kicker cradling down knows he fails at his promise to Q. Kicker wants them to live, and sees what their creations could do to support life. Q is one of the first few characters who saw Kicker's potential and believes the future that they desire everyone to be in. To Kicker, it isn't fair. Q has to die for everyone's sake, or a part of Convoy's cause. That's why Kicker's mad and yells at Roadbuster and Ariel that Q deserves to live in a world rid of evil, and now they can't do it anymore. Q was robbed of their happy end, so everyone else could live in their dream. Roadbuster is not intervening and tells it Ariel is a reaction as the audience confirms Q is dead, but letting Kicker linger longer in the scene that he failed even harder. Now that scene that hurts me the most. The next episode is the resting place of Alpha Q. Whatever is left of Alpha Q, they could get. They buried it on the grassy planet Q created for Kicker and Misha. Kicker placed a headstone as a reminder what Kicker has lost, as a way to show his weakness, that he isn't strong enough to save someone, but doesn't want to do this for nothing. Kicker looks down at the headstone while it rains behind his head. The scene takes place during nighttime instead of daytime, with a red flower on the ground from Misha. Only Roadbuster shines the light behind Kicker and Misha. Their faces are darkened, but we know the three are thinking at that moment. It is tragic, but most of the time, people don't get to see through their dream. Sometimes people become so hopeless, they will give it up entirely. The survivors are the ones who continue your story when you're gone. The stories of you on believing a cause is so childish, but they inspire to keep moving forward. Alpha Q is the lost child who lost their world a long time ago. In order for Unicron to sleep and fight another day, they were always alone and needed someone to help. I will note here at the end that Alpha Q, from the beginning, intended to die with their planet, just to kill the Chaos Bringer. And Q stuck in Unicron's head and survived. Q was robbed out of an honorable death, and now they are alone. The things they made were created out of love and loneliness. Their vow to recreate the things that were lost, the things that were before. Q, as childish as they are, wants to cling on to a reality they cannot be in. They enjoy the memories shared between and happier times. Yet, they believe in Kicker and Misha and everyone else to do the right thing. The sacrifice Q made makes so everyone can live in peace is the most honorable thing a character can do for someone. That gives them hope for others. This is the end of a short specific video of these scenes, and the broken promise Kicker made with Q. If you'd like me to analyze scene by scene like this, then let me know, and I can sub videos like this in between my larger, long-time videos. You guys are great, and I hope you're doing well. I'll see you soon. Goodbye. Bye-bye.